Hello, my little lions. It's been a long time. I've missed you. I'm so happy to be here with you. Look, it's like I'm glowing in here. That's what this summer's been about, right? I came into this thinking like Leo's feeling this little afterglow from the summer energy, right? Uh, so intense, so kind of overwhelming. We had so many eclipses, so many retrogrades, and now that's all over. Planets are coming out of retrograde. Um, which means things are just starting to move forward again, right? Um, and Leo, we're going to talk about you guys. We're going to talk about the Sun card, and we're going to talk about what you got to look forward to in September. All right, so guys, let's go ahead and jump into your tarot scope for the month. Okay, Leo, so as you can see, I'm doing something a little different this month. Traditionally in tarot card readings, we use what was called a significator card. It's kind of not something people use more nowadays, but I've been finding it really helpful this month to actually do my readings with a card that represents each of the signs as like a basis for the reading. And I was kind of torn between, strength is primarily the card associated with you guys, and like the secondary card is like the sun, right? A lot of signs have multiple cards that are associated with them. But I chose the sun because this whole summer, it felt like the energy of the universe was so intense. The energy of the sun, like maybe I'm spoiled because I live in LA and it's like sunny and warm most of the year. But I just like could not wait for summer to be over because just the intensity of the energy was almost overwhelming. There was a lot of changes that happened in eclipse season, a lot of things that were considered and let go of and changed about us, right? New ways of being, new ways of life, right? New lifestyles. Even if it's just newfound happiness and joy, right? If your world didn't like completely transform, right? We're coming into September, I think, with a sense of, like I said, like an afterglow, right? For a lot of the signs, I felt like this summer energy just kind of beat us up and we were a little sunburned, if you will, right? But with you guys, I feel like you're kind of basking in the joy, and that's why I wanted to work with the sun with you guys, because first of all, I wanted to reconcile my own hard feelings with the intense solar energy this summer, but also because I think that this most appropriately grasps where you guys are at and like the kind of energy you're coming into the September with, right? So one little note, one thing I noticed about or learned about this card here, if you look at it, the sun, there's this triumphant scene here, right, with the child riding the horse and with the flag, and feel joyous and happy and whatever. And if you notice the expression of the sun in this card, he's kind of looking away from what's happening down here. And part of what that implies with this card is that, our successes, our joys, our triumphs are something to be celebrated, but not hung up on, right? That there's more to look forward to, that there's other things to get in order, right? And I feel like this was very appropriate for Leo energy, is like we can bask in our glory, right? But we can't stay there, right? We have to think about what comes next. We have to think about the next steps, right? If you like had a lot of transformation in your career's going really well, your relationship's going really well, or even just like for you personally, if you're just feeling good, like where you are, where you're situated, where you are in life in general. I think there might be a tendency to get caught up in those good feelings for too long and then like forget that there's work to be done, right? And if you haven't been feeling great, we're going to get into that, right? We're going to get into some of the things that might be blocking you from like enjoying this energy, right? So since it's been a little while since I spoke to y'all, we're going to do a quick recap of like what's been going on for you guys for the summer, what kind of energy you're coming into September with, and then we'll go ahead and jump into what you have to look forward to in the month ahead. So balance, temperance, right? This is exactly what I was saying. Like there just feels like this dynamic energy, this mixing of creativity and happiness, and it feels like you guys are kind of in a good place for the most part, right? I know some of you are probably watching this because you're heartbroken, or you're struggling with money and all that stuff, and that's not to disregard those struggles. But I think even if you have been having those struggles, this card is saying, like, we have to look at the bright side. We have to look at the big picture, right? We have to look at the road ahead. This is very much so a card of looking towards the future, right? This angel right here is standing in place and mixing the cups and finding balance and stability. But ultimately, like, it's like a resting spot in a way, like right before the rest of the journey. So right now, balance is important, right? Balancing work and love, balancing self and someone else, right? I think almost in a bigger picture, balancing like your life in general. So if you've been single for a really long time, you might be feeling ready to get into a relationship. If you've been in a relationship for a really long time, you might be getting comfortable being single right now. That's the energy I'm getting, is like counterbalancing the way life has been in a way that like brings you forward and brings you closer to your joy and to your happiness, right? What else has been going on here? I feel like with the Three of Swords, I'm going to look at this in the way that the Three of Swords represents overcoming heartbreak and dealing with it. Because this is a card of, yes, experiencing heartbreak, but this is also a card of survival. This is a card of almost like wearing your heartbreak and your sorrow as a badge of honor, right? Scars that show like how far you've come and that you've healed. So there might have been a lot of healing, especially with Temperance. Temperance is a card very often associated with healing, right? In some decks, it's what is it? The angel Raphael, I want to say, who has like the doctor's thing on his forehead. It's a healing card, right? So with these two together, I think that a lot of you might be coming out of heartbreak. A lot of you might have been coming out of loss, right? If you're still feeling it, it's like it's not as heavy as it once was. And I think if it is still feeling heavy for you, then there's other things that we need to look at here. But I think for the most part with Leo energy, your struggles, your strife, your difficulties, at least on an emotional level, should be feeling coming into September as if like the load is a little lighter, as if like you're finding happiness after not having it for a long time. You're finding stability. If nothing else, at least there's a sense here of stability. If you're not quite feeling this joy, there's at least very much so a sense of stability, of not constantly feeling this crazy roller coaster of ups and downs, of having an idea about like where you want to be. And like, I think your season might have gotten us in touch with who you are inside and like what you have to offer and what you want to show, right? The sun is about joy and happiness, but it's also about illumination, right? It's about us seeing things that we didn't quite get before, right? Things to be grateful for, I feel like here, right? You might have had a lot of validating experiences this summer that teach you the value of family, of friendship, of love, of what happens when you actually give yourself the attention and affection that you need, right? So one more card for September. For this summer, to see where we've been. Page of Cups. So I think for a lot of you, there was new love, or at least like some sense of romance, right? With the Page of Cups, it often represents like an offer of love, right? And I'm gonna go with that definition first, especially because like if you see like the transition here, where we're moving from look at the heartbreak. Do you see what I'm talking about here? How it's kind of like flanked by two cards of emotional stability and satisfaction. The Page of Cups is very much a card of dreaming, of desiring emotional satisfaction, of asking the universe for it, right? You see how he has this cup held up to the sky and his eyes closed like in a prayer, right? It's like waiting for the right thing to come your way. Waiting for that thing that brings you emotional stability and happiness. I feel like an invigoration here. I feel like the past, like this is the past. right? Even if you're feeling residuals of it, it's like the worst has passed. And now there's like this new outlook, this new attitude towards the future, where there's almost like maybe a newfound happiness that you didn't even know was possible, right? Or things are just, again, I just feel like for y'all, it's going so well. And we're basking in that right now. And again, even if like some of you are struggling, I still want to point out, like, I feel like it's important for you to actually acknowledge the things that are going well, right? Because I think that if you assess what's been happening over the past few months, even if you don't feel great or exactly where you want to be, I think you'd have a lot of blessings to count, right? That's what I feel here is like receiving blessings. All right, so Leo, healing, particularly with regards to love, I think, if you guys have been heartbroken or feeling some kind of way, right? Particularly with regards to that. But I also think we're in a period right now where dreams are getting fulfilled. So this can also similarly apply to your careers, right? Where your careers are moving in a direction that is making that it's not just about the finances, it's about the satisfaction of what you're doing. It's where you have these moments where you look around or you leave work and you're like, I'm really happy with what I'm doing. I'm really happy with where things are going. My life is on track. All right, so Leo, let's jump into September and see what you got to look forward to in the month ahead. Three of Pentacles. You see like what I mean about creativity, inspiration. This is very much a card to me of wanting people to see you and how glorious you are, right? Really wanting to like shine and show off. Three of Pentacles is a card of creative expression, right? And the thing about Leo, the when people talk about you guys like to show off or floss too much or whatever, what it really is like an expression of the joy you feel. Joie de vivre, right? The happiness of just living life. And when you want to show off, it's because you're feeling really good about yourself. You know, when you want to show off, it's because you're feeling like the power of life. Leos love life. Leos love love, right? So in September, especially if you're a creative artist, if you're a creative artist or just working on a project, I really feel like in September you're going to start to see forward movement with that project, right? You're going to start to see work starting to take off. I'm thinking about myself as a Venus and Leo, that Leo energy affecting like the Venus qualities of romance and beauty and wealth and security and comfort, right? Those things now express themselves in the world. Those things start to come into being. That's what the Three of Pentacles is. It's about the energy and the effort you put behind it now starting to solidify. So you're going to start to see a little bit of solidification of the efforts you've been putting into your work and your love life, right? What else do we have to look forward to for September in Leo? So some deception. I don't think everyone's going to be happy for you. I even think that there's possibilities that people you might work with or collaborate with might not have your best intentions in mind. Also, Leo, what I really feel here is you have to be a little careful. I want to say be careful of paranoia. And I don't know, I feel that with this card right now. Be a little careful about, be suspicious if you need to be. Be careful about who you trust, right? But make sure you don't adopt an attitude where you start to believe that people are against you, right? Or because this feels like, yeah, there might be something else going on behind the scenes, but it really doesn't feel as heavy as you might think it might be, right? Because you can see the truth. So I think if you're perceiving something is off, then it's off, and you should trust that. But I think the warning here is not to spiral. The warning here is to stay grounded, to stay focused on what you're trying to accomplish, and not get caught up in what other people are doing or what you think other people are doing, right? But I do feel like there is duplicitous behavior here. But I still feel like it's so inconsequential in a way, right? Where it's almost like laughable as someone thinks they can like fuck with your career and fuck with your life and fuck with your bag, and then it's just like a weak, feeble attempt. So that's what I said about like paranoia or getting too caught up in this. Like anything that does come your way is not going to be serious and is not worth you getting all like regressive about all the good work that's come in from recovering from this stuff, right? From moving on. Like, in other words, don't regress into anger. Don't regress into pettiness. Pettiness is what I want to say here too, because this could be the way you guys are too, right? Sometimes y'all can be, if you get a little angry at somebody, like you can go for the jugular, right? So also be careful to not regress into pettiness, regress into just being like a cat, like coming for people or attacking people or misleading people, Leo, right? Don't mislead people. I feel like, especially with regards to work projects and with regards to love, be upfront with people. If you're not feeling them, then let them know that, right? If you don't like the way a project is going or a business thing is going, like don't do shady shit behind people's back, because I think that the message here is like it will come back to you, right? Whether it's like in a serious way, like I said before about the sun, it sheds lights on things, right? So you will be called out, you will be noticed. People will notice any kind of like shady behavior that you're doing, any playing around with people's emotions or people's money or anything like that, right? All right, let's keep going for Leo for September. Because look at, like, there's all this opportunity. Ace of Wands, like, there's passion, there's fire here. This is what I meant about the afterglow. It's like you guys kind of got to bask. And remember what I said from the beginning about how the sun is looking to what's next? It's almost like, look at these two cards together. It's yes, things have been going great. Things you might be feeling really good about yourself. You might be feeling really good about where things are going. But now it's time to like look towards real opportunities. And there's a lot of opportunity here, Leo. There's a lot of like possibility for especially if you're trying to create something, whether that's artistically, business wise, or whatever. September is going to see like big things coming your way. Like, this is, I just can't, for some reason, like, this is hitting me really hard, just the way that this hand is coming out of the cloud of nowhere. Like, it's just these opportunities and these blessings that are befalling you. And I think that's why in between the two things, you just have to not sink into this kind of behavior, right? Not sink into vindictiveness, right? Not sink into those lower frequency emotions, right? Those lower frequency ways of behaving. Because we're up in the sky, we're radiant, we're feeling ourselves, right? What else, Leo, for September? Empress. So I think like some of your home life might be changing. I feel like with the Empress, some of you might be like moving or taking steps in like the domestic sphere. So that could be some of you guys like taking relationships to the next level. I know a Leo who's about to move in with somebody, right? A new boyfriend. So as career opportunities present themselves, as opportunities to be creative express themselves, the home sphere feels really good. The domestic sphere feels really good. There's just this abundance here with you guys. Like, the cards are validating everything I came into this reading saying about how I think you guys are feeling like an afterglow and on a good page. Like, there's abundance, there's security with the Empress, right? There's nurtured feelings, there's sense of family, there's sense of love, sense of connection to to the people around you, to your loved ones, right? I feel like you might be like celebrating a lot of stuff with close friends and family this month, right? You might be celebrating your accomplishments. You might be celebrating the moves that you've been making, right? So in the month of September, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you are going to like parties with your friends or celebratory dinners with family. Like I see that like as potential here, because just the incoming energy of abundance and you know, I think that spills over to you guys for like your families, right? Also, I think the Empress is a reminder to remain grounded. So I think that's why there is an emphasis here on family and home and all that stuff, because there's so much energy here that could get a little carried away, like a little too extravagant, a little too spendthrift, extravagant spending, that kind of thing. So just this is also a reminder to remain grounded and remind yourself like where your center is, like where your heart is, what it is that keeps you rooted to the earth, and what keeps you like motivated, right? Like I feel like Leo is definitely a sign of you know, wanting great things, because you want to give great things to people that you care about, right? Y'all are super protective and super loyal, so you might want to like be giving back to the people who've been there with you from the start. I always think about it as like, I don't want a Lindsay Lohan, right? I want to make sure I'm surrounded by people who keep me grounded and centered, not like yes men who don't tell me that I have a problem, right? And there are people who just like want to party with me, so like they're not gonna like check my behavior sometimes, right? That's what I'm saying here with the Empress, is like be around people who keep you grounded, keep you centered, and keep you stable and keep you feeling like secure. So on that note, let's go ahead and jump into your love life for the month of September. Let's see what we got going on there. Yeah, like what I was saying, like big moves towards the future, like big plans are being set into motion. Something is changing for you guys with regards to your love life in a big way. So some of you, it depends where you are, obviously, because this is a general reading where you are in your love life. Some of you who are single might be starting to get out there and date again, right? Some of you who are heartbroken, shit. Oh my god. Sorry, my fuck. Excuse my coffee is condensating on my table, and one of my cards just got really wet. Shit. Sorry about that, guys. Give me 1 second, okay? Hey, I'm back. Sorry for that little freak out. It's just, I love these cards so much, and they're not cheap. So I just got really concerned. This fucking coffee just condensating all over the place, and I just dried it off, letting it dry off right now. That was temperance. All right, so where were we? We're looking at your love life, right? What happened to it? Oh, sorry, forgive me, I'm a little bit of a mess, right? I feel like I want to say that to you guys now, right? Like, don't panic. Don't get panicky this month. Don't jump to conclusions. You know, if things go weird for you in any way, like with this shit, remember what I said about paranoia? Like, don't panic. Things that go wrong are not that serious, right? Like, I'm pretty sure these cards are like this like linen material, so it's not like cardboard or like cheap paper where it's gonna like be seriously damaged, but still. Sorry, I should have taken another second to make sure everything was perfect. So what was I saying about the love life, right? No matter what state of love you're in, like whether it's you know, you're single or you're with somebody or you're newly broken up, there's with the Three of Wands, we're looking towards the future where we're being hopeful, we're being optimistic, we're putting our wheels into motion to get the things that we want, right? We're moving from this place where we just feel the excitement and the passion and the opportunity to now, like, what comes next for you, Leo, in love. And I don't think it's just about like thinking about it. With the wands, it's fire, it's action. So you're taking steps. Like I said, if you're single, you're getting out there. If you're in a relationship, you might be looking towards the next step, right? Whatever that might be for your relationship, whether that's marriage, moving in together, getting a house together, like whatever it might be, like having children. It's like the next steps are being planned in September, right? And I think in the fall time, you guys are gonna feel, I think for most of you out there, you're gonna feel really comfortable with like whoever it is that you're with. I think going into the fall and then the winter, a lot of Leos will be in relationships and will be comfortable, very comfortable in those relationships, and feel those relationships moving forward. I'm just thinking Venus Leo. I become very, very comfortable being single, but you know, that'd be cool if someone came around that was worth it, right? All right, what else do we have for a love life for Leo in September? Like Leo, there's just so much. I knew it. I knew coming into this, there was just going to be all this prosperity. You have the world for your love life. Everything you thought you wanted and then some. This to me, when it comes to romance, is having more than you almost even ever thought possible. Where you again have that moment where you're looking around at your life and you're like, wow, this is pleasantly unexpected. There's potential here, right? There's future here. There's a future. In September, if you're not, you know, whatever the state of your love life is now, there's your optimism. There's feeling like what you're involved in is going places. And so far, there hasn't been really solid like relationship cards per se, except maybe the Page of Cups. But I think what this is ultimately, because I think sometimes these readings like focus too much on like the other people and who's this that you're dealing with and who's this that you're dealing with. But I really think that for you guys, it's about it almost feels like an evolution. It feels like a growth from within, right? Like a development of who you are and like an advancement of who you are. The world is a promise of like, what did I say, next steps, right? Like these two cards together, when we're talking about romance, this is about like what comes next. This is about like closing out a chapter in your life and moving on to the next one. So again, even if that means that you're single, you're going to be like happily single, right? And you're going to be feeling the virtues of being alone and what that can accomplish for you, right? So you could just be focused on career goals and personal development, right? All right, let's look at your business and career because we've touched on that a little bit here. Knight of Cups. So again, guys, like I just really feel like you've been hustling and like things are starting to manifest and things are starting to come true. I think a lot of you are going to be, a lot of you who are in creative fields or something artistic, there's going to be forward movement in that regard. The Knight of Cups is like an assurance of like things are going in the right direction. That your dreams are on the cusp of kind of becoming true. Big things here, guys, like big leaps forward for you guys. I remember a few months ago I said like Leo has to look before they leap, and now it's like you guys are leaping is what I feel, right? Like you know what you want and you're getting it and you're going for it and you're putting the effort into it and you're making things happen. Again, you know, this is a general reading, so everybody's not going to feel like they're in the same place, but get into the underlying energy of it, right? Get into the notes behind the note, right? Interpret this for whatever situation you're in with your finances, with your career. There's growth, there's potential, there's impending prosperity, right? To me, the King of Cups, the cups are very like materially abundant to me, right? Like we don't think of the water signs in particular as as cards of money and wealth, but when you think about it, money flows, right? Money flows like water, and what a lot of the water signs need and require is like security. And what better way, what else in the world gives you security better than money? Scorpio's really good with money. Cancer is a hustler. Pisces, really good with money. Like, these are water, like the watery energy is a sign to me of impending prosperity. Eight of Wands, it's going to happen fast. You're going to have a lot of communications. There might be a lot of deals going down. There might be a lot of contracts being signed. There might be a lot of networking. Right? I feel like in September, your social connections are going to be super important to your career growth. I really feel here like something like can come to you from another person who you might have a bond with. You might get communication. You might get movement. Like, there's so much, regardless, guys, there's movement forward. No matter what it is that you're doing, you're moving forward. Like, you're getting closer and closer to your dreams, and it's gonna happen, I think, faster than you even realize. All right, let's pull a couple outcome cards, and then we'll jump into the oracle. Outcome for Leo for September. You know, some part of me when I was coming into this reading is like, I'm starting with the sun, watch me get the moon. And we got the moon as your outcome, right? So what is this saying after all this joy, after all this celebration, after all this like intense heat, right? I think normally the moon represents like, no, I don't think, I'm saying normally the moon represents like the subconscious, the darkness, what's not said, secrets, right? But with these two energies together, there's a harmony, right? There's a balance. Remember exactly what I've been saying from the beginning with the temperance that's now like recovering from getting wet? About the balance, the counterbalance, right? The very first card we pulled up was balance, and now your outcome card is balancing your significator. So time to take a step back, Leo. It's time to chill a little bit, right? I think you guys might have been really hyped up by like your birthday month, as you should have been. Happy belated birthday, by the way. And now it's time to just relax. And time to chill, and time to like, remember what I said, the afterglow? It's almost like that's the moon's energy, right? The moon kind of reflects the sun's energy, and the light we get from it isn't the direct sunlight, but it's kind of like the glow of the sun. So now it's like time to just live your dreams, to relax in them, to maybe go from being that wild wolf to the domesticated dog a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're counterparts. They're related. They're the same beasts in a way, right? It's just how they express themselves and how they move through the world. So Leo, I think September is going to be a good month for you to pull back, for you to get quiet, for you to really think, not even think, just feel, just bask. Bask in the goodness. Bask in all the work you've been doing, all the positive work. And really take time to like consider your future, where things are going, right? And feel good about it. I think that there's just so much optimism in this reading, right? We started out with Temperance, that Sagittarius card. What are they most known for is optimism. All right, what else? Balance. Security. Balance, 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 balance. This whole reading, balance, right? This whole reading, multitasking. This is Leo finding the sweet spot between love and work. This is Leo finding the sweet spot between socializing and a comfortable home life, right? This is Leo finding like an inner balance and an inner stability. This is security. This is abundance. This is, again, I want to relate it back to the fact that a lot of you, like, your relationships are really important right now, right? Finding grounding in the connections that you have with people. Even if you're single, there might be like friends who you're just on the same page with, and who make you feel like not alone, right? Two of Pentacles, yes, is about money and about juggling and balance, but it's also about stability. It's also about mutual partnership and what people can give and take from each other. All right, let's pull one last, and then Knight of Swords. So I really feel like this is probably your energy. Now, let's say if you are in a relationship or a business partnership with either an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I don't know why that was hard for me. That this person could be playing into this. So if you are in a love or work relationship with an air sign person, or at least a person who has those qualities. So Knight of Swords quality is very ambitious, very rambunctious, doesn't think twice about things, just kind of goes for it. Very optimistic, very forward thinking, very like swift moving, very like expressive and ready to go. This person could be figuring very much into your life, but also I think this is almost like the end of the story to me, because this is where I leave you off, Leo, is watching you guys ride off into the sunset and ready for adventure and ready for what's coming next and ready to just grab life by the balls and just live it powerfully, quickly, without like doubt, right? All right, so let's go ahead and pull the Oracle. I just want to mention at the end of September, I'm going to be shutting down my Etsy shop, which is where I've been selling my readings. It just became unmanageable. I can't really manage my time with the system that Etsy has. It's just like people would buy readings and I have to do them all at the same time. So I'm switching over to a website that I'm developing now where we'll be able to actually book appointments, which will be great. So right now, the readings that I have left in my shop are going to be on sale through the end of the month until they sell out. And once they sell out, the shop is getting shut down. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check that out. It's going to be cheaper than it's ever going to be from here on out, right? All right, and at the bottom of the deck, we have Justice. This is your karma. This is what you've been deserving. Everything that's been happening for you is like you've been putting in the work. You've been putting in the effort. You've been sacrificing. You've been putting yourself out there. You've been taking the time to heal. You've been taking the time to invest in yourself and build yourself up. And now you're getting your just rewards. Really nice way to wrap up that portion of the reading, right, Leo? All right, so I think we're going a little long, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull one of these Nature Nurture Oracle cards to see any last messages to Leo for the month of September. So remember how I said, like, the end, riding off into the sunset? You have the horse, you have travel. So this often can mean, like, literal travel, but what I think of it is forward movement. Right? Like real growth. Like I feel like when we start October, your life is going to look really different from how it did like at the start of September. Especially how it was like over the past few months. Just this major change and major transition. Major movement forward, major progress. Growth. Remember I said from the beginning, like or earlier, like this internal development, this internal growth. That's what I'm feeling for you guys is fast moving progress, fast moving change. But it's not because you don't know what you're doing. It's because you've been working towards it. You've been knowing what you want. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna pull more, and I'm glad I did. Self-leader, like this is exactly what I was saying. You guys know what you're doing. Trust your instincts because your instincts are right. Trust your judgments right now because your judgments are right. If things feel fast, it's not because you're being willy-nilly or not thinking carefully about something or being a little overzealous. Like it's because you know that now is the time and that this is right. Because again, you spent time getting in touch with yourself. You spend time healing. You spend time getting in touch with what you want and who you are. So, I mean, there's no reason when you're solid in this stuff, right? That this just can't go. You just can't. You can just take off, right? Knight of Swords sometimes gets a reputation for not acting before thinking, right? But at the same time, he doesn't really have to think because his mind is so sharp and he's so sure of himself and he knows what he's talking about. You know, I always, people tell me that I always have to think I'm right. And sometimes that's true. But what it also is that I don't speak up on things that I don't know what I'm talking, if I don't know what I'm talking about, right? If I have a strong opinion, if I have Knight of Swordsing you in the face, it's because like I'm sure about what I'm doing. I'm sure about what I'm saying, right? So you guys are feeling the same thing. Like, don't hold yourself back. You know what you're doing. What you're doing is right, and it's meant to be. Right? All right, Leo, so it was really nice talking to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of the spread and put it at the very end of the video, so in case you want to like look at the cards or look back at them, or if you guys like to try and interpret them yourself, like that's perfect. That'll be at the end of the reading. But like just so much positivity. I was almost afraid of building it up too much, because I know whenever I say really positive things sometimes on this channel, people get like all bent out of shape if their life isn't going exactly perfectly, and they're like, you're lying to me, rah, rah, rah. It's like, no, like if you've been working hard and you've been hustling, like you deserve to revel in like and celebrate like what's been going well for you, right? And there's a lot to go well for you. I think that there's such transition here, such change, especially with love and business. Like everything in your life, it looks like right now it's moving forward. There are reasons to celebrate. There are reasons to be joyous. There are reasons to like feel yourself and just bask in your, to bask in the glory, but also like keep your eye on what comes next, right? All right, Leo, I will talk to you soon. Lots of videos coming out soon, lots of new things coming to my channel. Look out for that. And thank you so much for being here with me. And I hope you have a blessed September, and I will talk to you soon. All right, you take care. Bye-bye.